My first interaction with Headwater was when I was in 6th grade. In Miss Wagner's class, I toured the hub. Little did I know I would find my way back 6 years later. I think at Headwater, I've learned the most from the people. Because of Headwater's mission-driven identity, everyone who works here cares about what they're doing. And when people care about what they're doing, it creates a special environment. These people are excited to bring new people into the picture, to nurture and educate about what they love so much, because they genuinely are making their community a better place.
Headwater began technically at the South Wedge Farmers Market in Rochester, New York in 2007. That project and the many people that were involved in it was really focused on creating community-based access to sustainable, healthy, fresh foods in Rochester. And it was really from that activity and the group of people involved that we began to think actively not only about how great those farmers markets were, but how much more work really needed to be done. We started Headwater Foods in 2007 at the farmers market with my cousin and myself driving vegetables around in the back of my Subaru station wagon. 11 years later, we are 50 employees in a 20,000 square foot warehouse moving a significant amount of food around New York State.
So one of the fastest growing areas at Headwater lately has been the meat department. Especially since the pandemic has hit, I've seen the department that I manage grow extensively. So at Headwater's meat program, we focus on working with small local farms that raise animals with respect and humility, and also focus on regenerative agriculture that not only provides better tasting meat, but helps heal the land that they're living on. I've been able to visit a lot of the farms that we work with at Headwater and to see the way that the animals live their lives happy and comfortable and in a beautiful setting in the Finger Lakes. You can just tell that this is a system of meat that is so different than the factory farming we're used to seeing throughout the country. One of the greatest joys of working at Headwater has been my ability to bring home meat to feed my family and just seeing the joy on their faces when they try how delicious everything that we sell here is.
The current American food system has a variety of very significant problems associated with it. From an environmental perspective, our production, processing, packaging, and transportation of food around our country is significantly harmful to the environment, to the ecosystems broadly, to animals, and truthfully to human health as we live in that environment. From a social justice perspective, our food system prioritizes the profits of corporations and significantly negatively impacts our community's health by making healthy, fresh foods expensive or hard to find or inaccessible to entire populations. Headwater Food Hub is trying to be part of positive change within the food system, with the specific goals of social and environmental justice. We're interested in a food system that dials back to small and mid-sized sustainable farms across New York State and the Northeast ultimately. We see sustainable, appropriately scaled farming as the necessary production for a food system that's going to feed our communities well. The challenge of allowing small and mid-sized farms to be the food source for our communities is coordinating and organizing across that diverse and dynamic group of farmers. And thus Headwater Food Hub's strategy of really building the capacity, the talent, and the team to coordinate across more than 200 different farmers and food producers and create a catalog of offerings for individuals and large institutions alike.
Our produce comes from hundreds of different farms and local suppliers that use sustainable and regenerative practices to steward the land in a way that will make sure that it's around for generations to come. We connect individuals, families, as well as restaurants, schools, and institutions with some of the freshest, most delicious local produce all across New York State and all across the East Coast to make sure that the food that they cook for their families and for their customers is nutritious, sustainable, and doesn't harm the environment in ways that are too damaging. Because the produce that Headwater sources is so much more local and so much closer to the end consumer, it means it spends a lot less time on a truck, in a warehouse, on a shelf, and so that means that by the time you eat it, it's full of more nutrients and vitamins because they haven't broken down sitting on a warehouse for too long. Much of the produce that Headwater sources is organic, and the produce that isn't certified organic, we work with the growers to develop plans to do low spray or low impact soil tillage practices, and we try and make sure that their practices work for both them, their bottom line, the consumer, and the environment. So we don't take a all or nothing approach like some places. We want to work collaboratively with farmers so that they can both support themselves, make sure that their businesses are feasible, but that also consumers are getting healthy, sustainable local produce. During the pandemic, a lot of the growers that we partner with had contracts canceled on them from schools and restaurants that didn't have an outlet for their produce, and we were able to use some state and federal funding to redirect that produce that might have gone to waste into boxes of delicious produce that are going to families in need.
Headwater Food Hub is a certified B Corp. We're trying to do good business and make money doing it. We have close to 50 people building careers at Headwater, people that are passionate about food and creating positive change in the community. We have a very collaborative, team-oriented approach, and ultimately, our success and our ability to create meaningful change in this space is about our collective intelligence, our capacity as a team here at Headwater, our partnership with our farmers and their perspective and strategy accordingly, and our relationship with our customers and our ability to understand one another.